Good afternoon, dear viewers. We have with us Namrata Vrishni, Joint Secretary, Department of Finance, Government of Rajasthan. So, welcome, ma'am. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Ma'am, can you begin by sharing your experience at the event in terms of choices of speakers, choices of panel discussions?
I will say this was quite a interesting and a satisfying journey for the state. We've been collaborating for this summit for quite some time, and the choice of speakers and the variety of speakers was really enriching. And the topics that are being covered are diverse and dynamic. So that way, I'll say it's a very future-oriented sessions that we are having now.
Ma'am, commercial tax have been the major contributor for any revenue generation in any states, apart from excise and stamp duty. So, do you think the needs of integrated finance management system or integrated tax system for augmenting the revenue generation?
Absolutely, I believe integrated revenue management is the need of the hour for any state to augment its resources, because as we're talking about commercial taxes, so we can expand that tax base to a particular threshold. We can't go beyond that. It will be determined by a lot of factors, our economics, our population, and things like that. So, a very important aspect that helps a state to augment its revenues is a proper management and a very integrated approach, because if we look at the entire revenue system in a ecosystem in a state, a person who is a part of the commercial taxes net might be somewhere in the mines and royalty sector, or maybe again coming to the government through the transport. So it's absolutely important that we have an integrated approach.
Yes, ma'am. And what role do you see can tax administrator play in terms of increasing compliances or mitigating revenue losses?
I think as an administrator, as we just talked about an integrated system, we'll have to make the system more automated and interactive. And I believe the buzzword these days is data analytics, and rightly so. So, very extended use of analytical tools, interactive systems, and automation as far as possible.
And ma'am, what changes have you feel has happened after the introduction of GST in terms of increased compliances, revenue generations, or formalization of economy?
GST, one thing it did was a rationalization of tax rates across the country, which has its own impact on the tax related behavior of people. And I think it provided its own set a structure, a portal for tax monitoring on which the states have built up, and now we have better tools for you know online management of our revenues.
And ma'am, you have said that the idea of revenue management is meaningless without the idea of revenue generation. So, would you like to say more on it?
No, that's, I believe, still the most important part, because unless there is a revenue earned, there will be a revenue to manage. And if we look at it closely, see, more revenue comes with more investment, and as you get more revenue, then only then comes the issue about revenue management. So revenue growth is definitely an important aspect, and I believe for any state, revenue collection can never be an end in itself. Ultimately, for any state, the ultimate goal is economic growth.
Yes.
That is what perhaps the governments at the center and everybody is aspiring for that. So, of course, talking about revenue management without thinking about the growth of the economy will be only seeing half the picture.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing valuable.
Thank you, sir.